Victor Wembanyama played maybe one of the best basketball games we've seen in a very long time in the Spurs season opener. 40 points, 15 boards, 3 blocks, and like half a dozen plays that I think Wemby's the only person in the entire league can make. Like, can you explain to me what defenders are supposed to do about this or this? Or this. Everything about Victor Wembanyama looks way more terrifying this year than it did in his first 2 seasons. He looks stronger. He's not getting knocked off of his spots. His jumper looks better. And yes, it's just one game, but theoretically, Dallas should be a team that Wemby has a difficult time against. They have a bunch of size. They have arguably the best front court rotation in the entire league. He's going up against Anthony Davis for the majority of the game, and it just did not matter. It felt like every time down the floor when Wemby was aggressive, it felt like, okay, is the shot going to go in or not? Because he's going to be able to get a good look off. And if he's hitting his shots, there's just like nothing you can do. Not to mention the fact that he was the most impactful player on the floor on the defensive end of the floor as well. If he's going to start averaging 30 a game, let's just go ahead and give him the MVP right now, because his overall impact on the game is already so strong. And if he's going to be hitting jumpers, creating everything in the mid post, attacking the rim, catching every lob that's thrown within 20 feet of him, we might as well just call it now. Like, my intrusive thoughts while watching this game and watching Wemby honestly were, are the Spurs going to win the title? Is Wemby going to win MVP? Should they have been more aggressive in trying to go out and get Kevin Durant so that they would definitely win the title? Or the next 5-7 years of the league just completely over because no one's going to be able to do anything about a 7'5" guy that can do literally everything on the basketball court? That's where my mind went watching one of the most impressive performances we've seen in the NBA in a very, very long time. And this isn't even the fully functional Spurs roster. De'Aaron Fox is not out there. Dylan Harper is playing his first game, still trying to get his legs under him, and it just didn't matter. Wemby was unbelievable. Steph Castle had a great game. The Spurs win by like 30, and it's just one game, but it is as strong of a statement as you can possibly make if you're Wemby and the Spurs. And that Wemby performance just completely overshadowed Cooper Flagg's NBA debut. He wasn't awesome, especially offensively. He was 4 for 13 from the floor, only had 10 points. Clearly was a little bit nervous. It's a national TV game. It's his NBA debut, but he still did a lot of good things. And I think most importantly for a guy that is as young as he is, he still looked like he belonged. He was getting rebounds in traffic. He had 10 boards. He had a double-double in his first game. And spacing wise, it's going to be a little bit awkward. The Mavs are playing super big. They're playing like 1 or 2 guards, maybe. Their opening lineup, their starting lineup does not include a guard at all. It's just going to be a little bit weird for Flagg, especially as a rookie. But I have absolutely zero concern about him whatsoever. It looked like he belonged. It looked like he could get to the rim on occasion. The Spurs are just a difficult matchup with Wemby at the rim. That's primarily what Cooper Flagg wants to do. And as he grows and develops throughout the year, I am not worried about him at all. And I love the fact that Dallas went with that super big lineup to start the year, because I think that's going to be their identity, is they're going to be at a guard, rebound, maybe score 105, 110 points per game, and that's how they're going to win games. And I think Flagg is a perfect fit for that. If you're waking up this morning and you're worried about Cooper Flagg, you're just not looking at the game correctly. Some other rookies we got to talk about, though. VJ Edgecombe for the Philadelphia 76ers, someone that has pretty much gone completely overlooked as we led up to the season. There's a bunch of other storylines throughout the league that people find more interesting, including on this Sixers team with Philadelphia, because we're thinking about Joel Embiid, Paul George coming back, and it was the Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe experience in game 1. They had 74 of the Sixers, 117 points. And Maxey, of course, was unbelievable, but Edgecombe, you just did not expect someone to come out in their first game and play like that. He got a bunch of shots up, I will say that, but that seems to be part of his profile, and he was shooting well from 3, which is a complete game changer for Philadelphia. He was doing more stuff on the ball than a lot of people expected, had some nice drives to his left, and was doing a lot of stuff on defense as well. And if you have that as your foundation, you got Maxey, Jared McCain when he comes back, VJ Edgecombe, it almost doesn't matter what happens with Embiid and Paul George. It matters in terms of their contracts and limiting your flexibility. But if you just get nothing into the future from Embiid and Paul George, you still have a really nice foundation if this is what VJ Edgecombe is going to look like. Speaking of Embiid, by the way, I have no idea why he's even playing in this game. Played 20 minutes, scored 4 points, didn't look good at all, didn't look healthy. Why are we doing this? What's the point of Embiid playing if he's not going to be able to, 1, look like himself, and 2, play his normal amount of minutes? If he played 25, 28 minutes, I would get it, but 20 minutes and kind of got pulled and just did not look right out there, I don't understand that mindset at all if you're the Sixers. This is game 1. Just wait, let him recover, or maybe we're just at the point where there is no recovering. This is just who Joel Embiid is. Hopefully that's not the case. but I'm definitely confused as to why he's even out there in the first place. Next on the rookie list is a guy that a lot of people were excited about, Ace Bailey. We got a notification like an hour before the game started. He was going to be limited to about 15 minutes due to illness. He did get his first bucket, but he only had 2 points, not really a ton to take away there. Dylan Harper as well, 15 points on 14 shots. Looked pretty in control at times, but also had 5 fouls. He's going to be totally fine. Steph Castle looked amazing. De'Aaron Fox is still going to come back. There's not going to be a lot of pressure on him to really contribute a ton right away. And if the Spurs are going to look as good as they did on opening night and threaten to win 50-55 games, we might be seeing a little bit less of Dylan Harper than we anticipated as the season goes along. I'm not worried about him whatsoever. He still had plenty of moments where he looked really good. He was doing those strong lefty drives where he was using his big shoulders, getting around people, getting people off their spot. Not worried about Dylan Harper whatsoever, and a solid debut for him in a dominant Spurs win. A couple of other guys here. Trey Johnson for Washington in his debut looked like exactly what you would want him to if you're a Wizards fan. A lights out shooter, can create a little bit off the bounce as well, and his production is always going to be a little bit up and down because he relies so heavily on jump shots because he doesn't really get to the rim all that much. And Washington as a basketball team is just kind of a disaster. You never really know when you're going to get the ball. They don't really have a point guard out there. It's just going to be weird and strange to be Trey Johnson this season, but you want to see flashes. You want to see him translating what was in his profile into actual NBA games. And certainly in his debut, he did that. No reason at all to not be extremely excited about what Trey Johnson might be in Washington. Another guy I want to shout out here is Cedric Howard in Memphis. 5 for 5. Hasn't missed a shot yet in the NBA. Really, really nice debut for him as this connecting piece for Memphis, which is exactly what they need and have been searching for and trying to trade a ton of picks for years. He was this crazy late riser in the draft, so you want to see immediate impact from him, and that's what you got. Also, big shout out John Morant. Overlooked amongst all the things that happened in the first real big slate of NBA games. 35 points, some clutch moments as well, and a Grizzlies win. Speaking of that game, let's talk about the Pelicans rookies, Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen. Fears looked really, really good. Really efficient, 17 points. Didn't play a ton, played less than 20 minutes, but was in control, was able to get to the rim, and looked every bit of the immediate impact scoring guard that a lot of people were excited that he would be. Still some concerns there about size, long-term shooting potential, but an amazing debut for him, whereas on the other end of the scale, Derek Queen, not so much. Looked like someone that was struggling to find his role out there. Didn't play a ton. Did have some okay moments, but someone that definitely is maybe going to be a little bit more of a longer-term project, which is a concern for a Pelicans team that traded an extra pick to go and get him. And Derek Queen is a little bit older than you realize that he would be, given that he was a freshman coming out. So you kind of want to see some more immediate impact from him, but obviously very early on in the season. A couple more games I want to talk about here. What exactly just happened in Utah with the LA Clippers? They were down like 40 at certain points to the Utah Jazz, who are either 1 or 2 in the worst team in the league rankings this season. It's either them or the Nets, and for whatever reason, the Clippers got absolutely smoked. And the Jazz played pretty well. They guarded decently well. They made some shots, but this was more about the Clippers just looking completely uninterested in playing basketball. They looked old because they are old. They looked slow because they are a little bit slow. There was no urgency whatsoever. It was clear they were still trying to figure out where exactly Bradley Beal fits, what the rotations are going to be like, how much is Derek Jones going to play, Chris Dunn's potential involvement moving forward. There is a lot of just obviously weird vibes around the Clippers right now. We knew that coming into the season. I just didn't expect it to manifest itself so much on the basketball court for them to get absolutely smoked by the Utah Jazz. Yes, on the road, but my goodness. Another overlooked performance here because everything was about Victor Wembanyama last night. Anthony Edwards dropped 41 for the Timberwolves, and before the game we got an interesting bit of news as well. Dante DiVincenzo is going to be the starting point guard for the season for Minnesota over Mike Conley, which is probably a move that they've been wanting to make for a little bit. They just haven't had a great option, and DiVincenzo, now that he's healthy, is going to be a really good fit for them in the starting lineup. Ant, of course, looked amazing against the Trailblazers team that actually played pretty well. Jeremy Grant had a really good game, but Ant was Ant. He was unbelievable. I think the spacing of DiVincenzo out there and occasional being able to attack closeouts really helped him. Anthony Edwards, 41. Nobody cares because Wemby had one of the greatest performances we've seen in the last decade in the NBA, but I care and I want to talk about it. Now let's talk about my team. The Brooklyn Nets gave up 77 first half points to the Charlotte Hornets and a 136-117 loss. The Nets are bad. Everybody knows the Nets are bad. Some of the rookies looked okay. The Charlotte Hornets looked like a top 5 league pass team this year. They were unbelievable on offense. They were running. LaMelo was doing stuff. They were making a ton of shots. They have way more depth on the perimeter than you would ever think that they would. If you really look at the roster, it's like, whoa, there's a bunch of guys I actually kind of like. The obvious concern was in the front court. They got really good minutes from the rookie out of Creighton. They got really good minutes from Moussa Diabate. As always, the Hornets might be sneaky good. It's the Nets. They still gave up almost 120 points, but if they're going to average 120, 125 a game because they're playing so fast, they've got all these really cool perimeter guys. Knipple looked pretty solid. This could be a shockingly dangerous team in Charlotte, so shout out to them. And then to finish it out, I'm going to present you this Josh Giddey clip without comment.